Welcome to Real Life and Archetypes. My name is Marina. So this is a video that I've wanted to make for a while because it's a conversation that I keep having about a specific athlete that a lot of people idolize. And I like to observe particularly the PR machines that operate behind celebrities or athletes. I'm just very interested in that aspect of how you can control the image and the narrative, because this is how we are influenced to perceive a reality that may not be really there. And so I don't want to give the name of the person that I'm referring to because that's going to generate too much backlash. It's not worth it. What I want to talk about is how we are self-deceptive, or we don't want to see some things that are right there, or we are just incongruent with the things that we believe. So let me just put in, context who I'm talking about without naming. This is an athlete that has been a champion for 20 years. And just an amazing accomplishment, very rare to be able to, over time, over such a long period of time, to just be at the top and win so much. So I want to point out right there that this is related to an archetype, the older self. And there's something about this archetype that is about achievement, the ambition to achieve. And so to stay there at such a high level, because, it's one thing to reach the top. Some people accomplish things, but to remain there for so many years and just grind it again and again, that requires some specific traits that are in contrast to an image that is always being circulated in the PR machine, in the media about such athletes. And so when I have conversation with people who idolize this man, and I think he's a great champion, but my conversation was about how do you think, or what do you think the true nature of someone is who manages to accomplish that, and also to build so much wealth and, even an empire that this person is doing, and generating contracts and doing things that to me are not, or do not match, this teddy bear narrative or image that is so cultivated by his PR machine. And this is one of the PR examples that really impresses me. I do not observe everybody in the world, but I like to observe a lot of things, and I have never seen such control over narrative as with this guy. So the context of the conversations that I have with people is that they are completely relating to this guy as being just such a good person, such a teddy bear, and therefore all the success that he has, of course, comes from, his qualities of determination and fighting and winning, great champion. But people do not, they do not really understand what is behind being like that you can't be this teddy bear that is being sold to us all the time in the media about this guy. Now, he may be a nice person, but this is someone who has been trained since he was very young to deal with the media. He has a lot of support that has been there for a long time. So he's well trained, he's very disciplined, he's very intelligent. And what I want to emphasize when I have those conversations is that, yes, he may be a very nice guy, on the surface, and to deal with in terms of communicating, because he's been trained to be very much under control And his PR machine is absolutely 100% in control of everything. I've never seen anything like this. You're never going to find a wrong photo, a wrong anything. It's just really incredible. And so I ask people, why do you think that is? And so everybody has the exact same answer. And guess where those answers come from? The narrative that you read or you hear about the world of this sports that this guy is in, because it's all a business, it's an ecosystem, and they all need one another in order to create money and eyeballs on the screen for people to watch. So I want to challenge that a little bit so that we become more aware, of being more objective about things and about the way that we perceive reality. Because the problem is that when we do that with others, you can be sure that you do that to yourself, and that can get you in trouble. Something that I know a lot about because this girl has been fool number one. So that's why I'm so interested in all of those things. So I have conversations with people, and if you challenge in any way or try to, offer another point of view and try to say, listen, in order to accomplish what this guy has accomplished and to be in this position that he's in, this guy is no teddy bear. He's an absolute shark, because that's what it takes. And people just do not accept that. You can actually physically see their reaction. It's incredibly compelling to watch people's reactions because they've been hearing the same story for 20 years about what a lovely guy this is and how nice he is. And he's nice when he talks to the media. Well, he's been trained since he was a child, and, he's just, I don't know how to say, he's been shaped into a champion. He has an entire machine. So people think that someone is going to get to that level of success and of wealth, which means an integration into a system. This is the older self archetype, the achiever in particular, the ambition. If you're going to integrate a system and be successful, you can be sure that you have to be part of the system. And that system is made of shark. It's a world of shark. You can't be at the top if you're a teddy bear. You're going to be swallowed. So I just, having these conversations, it's just one day I started to have these conversations with people because I thought, how do you think this guy is at such a high level? How do you get to the top of the top? You don't get there by being nice. You get there by being very intelligent and very determined. You're there because you want to. You make that money because you want to. But everybody thinks that, no, he has a good team. It's like this guy is a teddy bear, and it's just the people around him who are making all of these things possible. And like this guy is sort of passive. He's really a nice person. And I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all, because he is the driver of that motivation. He is the one fighting and winning and making money and doing contracts. Some contracts that, sometimes have been a little bit controversial, but oh boy, did they control the narrative every time there was something a little delicate. And I've observed that for so many years because I'm just interested in that. But you see, what it takes to be at the top, you can't be at the top without being an absolute control freak, an absolute winner. You're a beast. So this image of, this teddy bear who's so lovely and wonderful, and of course they create this image about this wife who's a longtime girlfriend and all. I don't buy any of this because I'm old and, I've seen that stuff so many times, but people believe it. again and again. And sometimes I do fall for that. Don't worry, I do fall for that kind of stuff again and again, even when I'm aware of it, because that's what repetition and narrative does to our mind. So we have to pay attention to our mind, how we perceive reality, and where is that story coming from? Why do we think what we think? Why is it that we think that he's such a nice guy and everything is taken care of by, this mysterious team around him? That's how you build wealth. This is the ignorance of people who don't know what it takes to be at the top, which is that you have to have a mindset that is absolutely ruthless. You have to have a nature that is ruthless. You cannot be at the top and stay there for so long without being part of a system that is going to enable you to be there. And that means that you are the system. So there's what is it called? Cognitive dissonance about thinking about this guy as such a nice, wonderful teddy bear, being in a world where everybody else is an absolute beast and shark. Doesn't make sense. When you are so high up, it's because you are integrated into the system, and this is full of shark. And talking about shark, let's go to the parable of the scorpion and the frog. And the scorpion, the story is that the scorpion needs the frog to be able to travel from one shore to another, to cross a river. And the frog is reluctant to carry the scorpion because the frog says, well, you're going to sting me and I'm going to die. And the scorpion says, no, but if I sting you, then we both drown. And it turns out that the frog accepts the proposition to carry the scorpion, and the scorpion stings the frog. And as they both drown, they're dying, the frog asks the scorpion, why? And the scorpion replies, because it's my nature. And so this is what I wanted to emphasize here, that especially as I get older, I look more and more at the things of the real world. Also because I've been slapped in the face a lot. And so I've had to sort of wake up to the realities of the world in ways that maybe other people don't need to. But I have greater awareness of that. And so I don't buy this image of, I'm a little nice teddy bear and everything is wonderful, because I can see the control behind that. And when you have such level of control and you reach such high levels and you continue to build and acquire wealth and expand, that's because you want. And if you integrate that system, you're part of the system. You cannot belong to that kind of system without being compromised in some way or another. And I see a lot of people complain about their bosses. So in the normal world, a lot of people complain about their bosses. He's a control freak, and he misuse of power or things like that. And that's in the normal world. What do you think these people who are at such a high level are? You think they're teddy bears? No, they're not. If you think your boss is a control freak and nasty and controlling on top of you, these guys are exponential. I mean, in order to get there, you have to be. And so that's my way for me to sort of try to shake a little bit of, the perceptions that we have, mostly because I've fallen for that stuff again and again. And I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. If you're there, you are in the system, you're part of the system. So if you criticize the system, but you idolize this one, that doesn't make any sense to me. It's just not possible. So we idolize champions and billionaires and celebrities and despise smaller figures. But we refuse to question the nature of those who hold infinitely more power and influence than the people we criticize in everyday life. That's the kind of question that I just want to leave you with, because I think it's a way of, trying to perceive reality for what it is. And again, you do not get to the top of the top without being what you need to be to get there. Whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. So that's just my take on it. I'm not going to say his name. Some people might guess it just with certain words that I've said, but I'm just going to leave it there and leave you with that reflection. So, do you idolize a lot of people? And do you think that you're influenced by their PR machine? Or do you think you really see them for who they are? Do you think for a moment that these people are just little teddy bears who, randomly have gone to the top and remained there for 20 years because they're just so lovely? I don't believe it. Thank you for watching.